Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I go a bit crazy in lockdown. For those of you that joined us last year know exactly what I'm talking about. It was a rough time. All right, guys, I'm going to fly through this because I've already done it once. 15 minutes of my life I'm not going to get back. Technology is not my thing, though. Does help to press the record button, doesn't it? So good. All right, guys. Here we go. So just like last week, I'm going to talk about, actually bear with me one moment. There we go. That's better. I'm not hearing myself. Okay, so just like last week on Friday, I went through the equipment WOD first and then the equipment free or plates people after. So I'm going to do exactly the same right now. So if you do not have any kit or just a plate, feel free to fast forward a few minutes. I will put in the comment section what section of this video or minutes you need to start watching from. So feel free to say ta-ta. Unless you like hearing my annoying voice, then by all means, stay tuned. All right, you might learn something. Who knows? Okay, so for those of you with barbells, plates, maybe even a rack and a rig, your strength piece today is 5 sets of 5 front squats. So just like they would be here in the gym, you need to build up to a heavy set of 5 and then hit the 5 by 5 at the one weight. So this should all be heavy. If you have a limited amount of plates, so let's say you've got 2 10s and a bar, and you still wanted to do front squats, then what I ask of you is you bring in a tempo. Okay, so the tempo just pretty much go slower down in the squat, and you could even have a few seconds at the very bottom of the squat just to make it hurt that little bit more before standing tall. That's up to you guys to do, obviously. I'm sure 90% of you I would be encouraging to do that, but I can't see you, so maybe you won't. It depends how disciplined you are with yourself. So like I said, if you have limited weights and it's just not heavy enough for a 5 by 5, then bring in a tempo. If you do have all the weights, just keep loading it up till you get to a heavy weight and then stay there for all 5 sets. All right. Keeping the elbows nice and high. So they should be parallel to the floor. Okay. Pushing the knees out, keeping the chest high, yada, yada, yada. We know these things. I'll show you a few now. Make sure your squats look just like this. That is your strength piece. All right, we then move on to the workout today. So as many rounds as possible in 11 minutes. All right, in 11 minutes, you have 16 thrusters, 8 toes to bar for those of you with a rig, and 4 wall walks. All right, so 16 thrusters, 8 toes to bar, and 4 wall walks, as many rounds as possible in 11 minutes. Your thrusters should be a weight that you can hang on to for the 16. If you need to drop it, you're allowed to drop it once and once only. All right, it's not a weight that you need to put down every 3 reps. That would be way too heavy. Okay, again, if you are at home and you have limited kit, you've got a barbell but you can only make 60 kilos or something crazy like that, then you might want to have a think about doing the equipment free or plate version of this workout. Okay, so you can swap and change, obviously, guys, depending on what kit you've got between this workout and the one for the body weight and plate people. Swap and change movements as you see fit. All right, So for those of you with the right weight and are happy with that, you're going to go for 16 thrusters. They will look like this. Beautiful. Once you've done that, you move on to your rig for your toes to bar, both feet touching the bar at the same time. If you do not have a rig, you can go for a V up instead. Okay, so you are trying to meet in the middle, like you're closing like a book. I've done these 100 times and I'm still no good at them. So don't judge me. Core is not my strength. But yeah, you get the idea. So do this. If you need to scale that movement because it's a little bit too hard for you, do this. All right, so you simply bend the knees and try and touch the heels as opposed to touching the toes. All right, you've only got to do 8 though, so I'd definitely be encouraging you to try for the RX version, the straight legs. All right, the last movement, excuse me, is our wall walks. So if you have a secure wall and you feel comfortable with wall walks, give it a go. If you're a little bit unsure and you're at home alone, maybe don't do wall walks. Maybe. Just throwing it out there. All right. Just a thought. So, your wall walks, if you are going for RX, as it's written, start in a push-up position on the floor. So chest, thighs, and toes all on the floor. Okay. You're going to press up, walk your feet up the wall. Keep going until your nose touches the wall, and then you must walk back down. You must walk back down. None of this sliding off walls, alley, fracturing toes, none of that. All right, walk back down. All right, if you need to scale it, don't go up quite as high. So let's say you walk halfway up the wall and then come back down. That's fine. It's a good scaling option. Still do 4 reps, okay? If you need to do the next one down, so still walk up the wall a little bit, okay? And perform 10 shoulder taps. That's really quite hard when your feet are so high. Keep the core engaged. Don't rock the hips. Just gently tapping. So 10 taps in total. All right. If you need to scale even further, then come down into a plank position on the floor and do 20 shoulder taps on the floor. So 20 taps if you're on the floor, 10 if you're going to do it up against the wall. Okay. That is your workout today. So once more, as many rounds as possible in 11 minutes. You have 16 thrusters, full depth squat, head through at the top, 8 toes to bar, both feet touching the bar at the same time and coming behind the line of the rig at the bottom. And then the last one is your 4 wall walks, starting and finishing with your chest, thighs, and toes on the floor. Okay. Good job. Nice work. All right, now we're moving on to our equipment free or plate people. So both will do the strength together and the workout for that matter of this one. Keeping the same theme. So 5 sets of 5. If you have a plate, go and grab it. If you have something of weight, so it could be a milk jug, it could be a small child or a pet, it could be a bottle of wine. I don't know. I'll let you guys get creative. Whatever you can find that's got some weight, now would be a good time to use that item. Of course, if you don't have any of that or don't wish to endanger anything or feel like you might accidentally drink the bottle of wine throughout the workout, maybe not. Maybe don't do it. Okay. All right, so with your plate, we're going to go for 5 sets of 5 squats. However, our tempo, this is what's going to fry your legs, is 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 0 and 0. So what that equates to is 10 seconds down, 10 seconds at the bottom, so hold at the squat, standing up pretty much as quickly as you can, and then there's no rest between them. So 10 down, 10 at the bottom, stand up and go back down. 10 down, 10 at the bottom, stand up, and no rest at the top is what I should say. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3. This is what it'll look like. I'm going to keep my mic on just so you can hear me count. The only downside is you're also going to hear me breathe, so I apologize. I'll do what I can. Okay, so holding the plate close to your chest today, not out in front of you like we did last week. 2, 1, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand back down. All right, you get the idea. It's going to burn. 10 seconds is a long time. All right. For those of you who are mobile enough to just sit in the bottom of the squat, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so for those of you that are super flexible and can just sit here and kind of like collapse in the squat. So my knees are in, I'm not engaged through my core or the glutes here. So I'm literally just sat down. This totally and utterly defeats the purpose. Okay, so if you are one of those people, come up a little bit higher. So I would rather you didn't go all the way down into the squat, but you were holding it in an active position than for you to get depth, but to just be slumped down into the bottom of the squat. Okay, so don't go down as low. Keep the knees out, keep the chest up, and you will shake. All right, if you are shaking, you're doing it right. If it's easy to just sit there, chances are it needs improvement. All right, so that's your hold. 5 sets of 5. For those of you joining me tomorrow at 8 a.m., I'll do the counting because I can count. Okay, we then move on to today's workout. Again, as many rounds as possible in 11 minutes. This time we have 16 plate thrusters for those of you with a plate, or cat, bottle of wine, small child, 8 V-ups, and 4 wall walks. All right. Plate thruster. If you have a plate, it'll look like this. Watch out for your chin. The alternative, so those people without weight, is a pulsing air squat. So still 16 reps. You're going to go all the way down, come up halfway, go back down, and then stand. So you'll still do 16 of those. That will look like this. So that's going to start to burn the quads quite quickly. Okay, 16 of those, your V-ups, just like we did last week, closing like a book, and then lying flat if you need to scale it, coming in, bending the knees and touching the heels each time. And then finally your wall walks. So as I just touched on for the people with kit, I apologize, getting out of breath. Options are either, obviously, as it's written, 4 wall walks. First scaling option is to not go as high up the wall. So you might get halfway and then walk back down. That's fine. Option number 2 is to start the wall walk. So place your feet up the wall so you're in like a plank on the wall, and then perform 10 shoulder taps, okay, which are really quite hard. You need to be able to maintain your core here and keep your bum up. I don't want to see you sinking. Oh, see you. You know what I mean. I don't want you to start to feel it in your lower back, because if that's happening, then it's telling me that you're sinking through the abs, they're not engaged, and you're loading the lower back. And that's no good. Yeah, so it's still not the right scale for you. The closer you are to the wall, in terms of posture, the easier it is. Okay. Within reason. If you get too close, then obviously it's horrifically hard to balance. But yeah, in terms of your posture, it becomes easier. So try going a little bit closer. If it's still not happening, then just don't worry about it. The last scale option is to perform a plank on the floor and do 20 shoulder taps on the floor, keeping the hips in line, no rocking, core engaged, squeezing the bum, and tap. So either 10 on the wall or 20 off the wall instead of 4 wall walks, okay? You need to be comfortable with wall walks before doing them. So if you're a bit like, oh, I don't know, if you are home alone, don't do it. There's nothing more that needs to be said, okay? Be careful. You are going upside down. It requires a lot of balance and strength. So if you're having a hard time, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. You're here to get a workout. Okay. All right, guys. So that's the end of the workout for both our kit and non-kit. I hope you have a fabulous day today. I will be back here tomorrow to talk you through Tuesday's workout, and we'll have a good time. Bye.